Welcome back to our kitchen.
We're here for you guys again to show you another tutorial.
My name is Valerie.
I'm Christina and we are from Queen Hearts Couture Cakes.
Alright.
I'm trying to hide something.
Yes. So, what are we going to do today?
So we are going to do Valerie's absolute favorite.
It is going to be chocolate ganache.
All about ganache.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love, absolutely love chocolate ganache. I can have one, we can have, take the cover off. I can basically eat a bowl of ganache, like just spoon after spoon and after spoon.
That is so true.
I could do that, especially dark chocolate ganache. What's your favorite, guys? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, so basically ganache is, that luscious, silky, melts in the mouth, delicious chocolate filling.
Yeah, one word, heaven.
Heaven.
Yeah.
So basically, actually, ganache is just a composition of two basic ingredients. That's your cream and your chocolate to make a piece of heaven. Yeah. So as simple as it is, what sort of chocolate do you actually use? That is a big question.
Yes, because I know if you go to the groceries, you go to the baking aisle, you see a baking chocolate, but if you go to the sinful aisle where all the chips and the crisps are, then you'll see another full range of different brands of chocolate. So what do you use? Basically, you can use both, okay? It just depends on the amount of cocoa solids. Now, why did I say that? Because chocolate is actually composed of basically your cocoa solids, your cocoa fat, and sugar, and sometimes people add, or different companies add, like powdered milk or lecithin or whatever. Sounds very technical. But anyway, let's forget about the etceteras. So cocoa solid is the percentage of chocolate that you see in a package. Like, for example, dark chocolate.
Packet, basically.
So in a dark chocolate, it's 70% dark chocolate or 90% or whatever that is. So it's important to just look at the percentage of the chocolate present in each package, because if you are making a ganache and you want it to set really hard, then that means you have to increase the level of your solids.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but if you want it for pouring or something, then lesser is okay.
And so she's talking about the milk and the dark chocolate. For the white chocolate though, it's a different story because it doesn't have any cocoa solids.
Yes.
Okay? That's why it's white.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, that's why it's white. It's because of the absence of cocoa solids. So, well, she better stop it. Alright, so,
the next important thing, I love chocolate. The next important thing is the ratio.
Alright, so let's discuss a couple of ratios, okay, all the probabilities. So first is the 1:1 or 1 part chocolate to 1 part cream. Alright, so this is what we usually do, right, isn't it? So for the 1:1 ratio, you usually use it for your filling, for covering your cake. Yeah, that's 1:1. But say for example you wanted to do it for glazing, like poured glazing. It's so in right now, isn't it? So for that case, you can use 2 parts of cream to 1 part of your chocolate. Right? Now say you wanted to do something like that round sinful bowl of chocolate.
The truffles.
The truffles. Yeah. That's your favorite.
Yeah.
So say you wanted to do truffles, you can do 1:2. So 1 part of cream is to 2 parts of your chocolate. All right?
Because you obviously wanted it to hold its shape, and that's why we up the chocolate percentage in the ganache.
But you know what? The temperature of your country or where you stay actually is relevant as well.
Yes.
So say for example, you live in a hot country, might as well use 2 parts of chocolate to every part of your cream. but say at the moment we are spring here in the UK.
Yeah.
So you can use 1:1. Okay,
Yes.
1 chocolate, 1 cream.
So to sum it all up, look at the packaging. You basically want to just check the content of the cocoa solid.
Yeah.
And then next, the environment. If it's hot in your country, then you up the chocolate content itself as well. But if it's for pouring, then lesser the chocolate content itself. And
no matter what the use is for, if it's white ganache, please make your chocolate at least twice the amount.
yes, because again, it does not have any cocoa solids. So that's why we wanted to show you both today, making a white chocolate ganache and then a 1:1 ratio. This is a dark chocolate, isn't
Dark
it?
chocolate,
Yeah,
yeah.
my absolute
Dark chocolate.
favorite. Okay, but then again, it wouldn't be like a standard. If it's this, use 1:1, blah blah blah. It's also kind of like a hit and miss. Okay, so if you think when you've done it straight away, it looks very thick, then add a little bit of milk or the cream. If it's too runny, then add a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Okay guys, so we're gonna do 1:1 here. So I have 150 grams of dark chocolate, and here we have 300 grams of white chocolate. So we're gonna pour 150 ml of cream for each. Now this is what it's gonna look like when your chocolate is properly melted with your hot cream. Okay, now say for example your ganache is meant for pouring or for glazing, pour glaze on your cake. What you're gonna do, well, meaning that 2 parts cream is to 1 part of chocolate, what you should do is you would let it to cool down first. You would want to make the ganache slightly thick, thick enough that it actually adheres onto the cake when you pour it, but it's still slightly loose so that it can easily flow on your cake.
Right, but if it is going to be for filling and covering your cake, so obviously this is still a very runny consistency, so again you just have to let it cool down and rest, and when you do that you just basically cover it with cling film. Okay, so we've got already cling filmed. Okay, and make sure that the cling film touches the surface of your ganache, because you don't want it to crust over. Okay, so by letting it stand and chill for a few minutes, it would harden up a little bit, it would thicken up a little bit, that it will be possible for you to spread it onto your cake as a filling or as a covering. All right, so but you don't want it to actually solidify, so I would say keep watching it. So I'd say about 15 to 20 minutes. If it's too small quantity, then obviously it would harden quickly. So we're gonna put this in the fridge. After about 10-15 minutes, stir it a little bit, okay, and you will see that it will gradually thicken up.
So guys, while we are waiting for the 2 batches of buttercream to kind of cool down, we have here...
I can start eating this.
So we have here, a batch of ganache we pre-made an hour before.
Can I start eating this?
She can be a pain sometimes. Okay, so this has slightly cooled down, and if you notice, the consistency changed.
Has thickened up.
It has thickened up a bit, but it's still soft and manageable. So what we're gonna do with this one?
So we did this ahead of time because because we wanted to show you what you will do if you wanted a pipeable consistency or a more fluffy kind of ganache. And all you have to do is just beat it. Okay, now this is a very small portion of ganache, so that's why we're going to use a handheld mixer. But if you're doing a big batch, obviously it's best to do it in a stand mixer. And I think you can just
Yeah, you can use both actually, but again, if it's down to us, since we're really used to using the paddle, we use the paddle. But again, you can use your whisk attachment as well.
Yes.
Right, so you beat it.
All right. And now we've got little balls of heaven. So this is your ganache that is chilled in the fridge, and as you can see, it is thick but spreadable consistency with the ratio of 1:1, and you can use for filling as well as covering the cake. This one is same ratio, 1:1, but cooled down and then beaten up, okay, with an electric mixer. And look how light and fluffy it is, and definitely light in color as well, okay, and good for filling as well as covering. And here is your white ganache, which is cooled from the fridge and with a ratio of 2 parts chocolate and 1 part cream. There you go. So spreadable consistency that is perfect for filling as well as covering your cake. Okay, so now you've seen how a perfectly good looking ganache looks like, and these are basically the same ganache that you've seen earlier on. We just chilled it a little bit more in the fridge, took it out, and since it has gone cold, I vigorously mixed it with my spatula like this, and if I show you now what happens, it has become grainy. Okay, so it is a very typical mistake that happens with your ganache when you agitate it so much by stirring it with your spatula, then it usually becomes grainy. All right,
so now my big question is, how do you fix it?
Okay, well, let's try and do it together, all right? So these are the same, well, separated kind of like ganache. This is a hot milk. I'm basically going to just put a little bit at a time.
Try a teaspoon first.
Yeah, teaspoon. And I'm going to just stir a little bit.
And keep your fingers crossed.
Okay. Right, well, let me add one more. So basically, guys, the moral of the story, once it's from the fridge, do not vigorously stir it. And if you really need it as a spreadable consistency, then I guess you just wait until it's soft, so leave it at the room temperature, and then carefully just stir it. Okay. And for this other one, I am basically going to just reheat it again. How long do we reheat it?
Maybe do it in 10 seconds interval. Then do it all in one go. So start with 10, have a look, then another 10 seconds, have a look.
So I've heated this at a 5-second burst, and it actually looks amazing. So I think that the heating method works very well. As you can see, it came back to its original beautiful ganache state, whereas the hot milk method did still fix it, but not as beautifully as the other one. So
another typical reason, guys, why your ganache tends to be grainy is when you overheat your cream as you start the process. Okay, so because basically what happens is when you overheat it, the fat in your chocolate separates. So that's why it's become grainy. Yeah, but to be able to fix it, so while your grainy ganache is still warm, you can add heated milk as well.
So it's kind of like how we did.
It's very similar to what you did. So you can add teaspoons of hot milk first and then stir it. And again, like, you know, works as a wonder. You melt it again.
Reheat it
and
again.
stir it. Yeah. Melt it or reheat it and stir. And voila.
Magic.
Magic.
So if you made mistake, you go with the step 1 and then step 2. If it fails, do the step 2.
So yeah, there you go, guys. Again, please try it yourself. You've got the recipe, you've got how to fix it, do's and don'ts as well. So again, as we always say, try it yourself. You know, what works for us might not work for you. It's because, you know, of your location, the supplies that's available in your country. So please have
your weather. It affects your ganache really, you know, well. So keep those in mind. And if things go wrong, if it goes grainy, step 1 and step 2 are for you. Okay, so we hope you guys enjoyed our tutorial for today. We hope you guys liked it. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.